Okay, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, fellow fishing accomplices, good morning and welcome back to fishing. So it is August 11th right now. Getting a later start than I typically do in the morning. Generally I try and get up as early as I possibly can to avoid traffic, but two things kept me in bed. One, we just had some storms roll through. I didn't want to contend with that. And two, the tides are kind of skewed in my favor towards later this afternoon if I want to do some exploration. So I figured why, rush it. So we are going to get in. Same launch that I've done the last couple times, but we're going to do a bit more exploring. And we're going to do a number of different things. Fluke is always an option, but we might do some bottom fishing as well with some bait, which I'll get into in more detail when we get there. But regardless, I apologize, my voice is a little raspy. I've got like some laryngitis stuff going on right now. Nothing cool, but long story short, if things go well, we get some keeper fluke, we get some nice porgies, some slabs or something else. Not only will we be fishing, but folks, we will be fishing. Accomplished. Stay tuned. Okay, on the water. Got a little bit of a hike ahead of us to get to the first spot I want to check out. But we got some helpful tide and the wind isn't too bad, and we got the trolling motor with us as well. And I didn't address this in the last video, but I'll get into it now. You might be thinking, like, why do this? Why get a trolling motor for a Hobie? Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose? And to an extent, yes. That's originally what I was thinking. However, the big thing is, well, it's two things. One, sometimes I pedal in upwards of 6 or 7 miles, which can be incredibly tiring, which you can imagine. And that's not a bad thing. I like a little workout, but it's not so much about me, it's about this pedal drive. These things are fragile. I have 2 of them, and I've broken both of them and had to get parts replaced. Some of which I can do myself, some of which I need to get help for, and it takes a lot of time sometimes to get those parts or to fix them. So my idea is, if I use this trolling motor, I'm pedaling much lighter than I typically would, which puts a lot less stress on this Mirage drive, which I'm hoping helps me get a little bit more life out of it before I have to do any more maintenance to it. So we're on our way to the spot right now. It's a little breezy, but this really is as bad as it's supposed to get. If it gets any worse, we'll just turn around and hopefully we'll get on some action. On our first spot right now, about a 2.5 mile pedal, but yeah, hopefully it's worth it. And we're gonna start with some bait. We got some crabs, Asian shore crabs, that we're gonna throw on this, I think, 1/2 ounce little tog jig. But I want to stress, while this is definitely like a tog method, that's not what I'm really looking for right now. Could happen, but we're gonna have to throw them right back because we're in New York and it's August. But I'm looking for one of 3 things, and 2 of them I'll mention outright. One is obviously just jumbo scalp. There should be some slabs here if the structure really is here. Second is potentially triggerfish. I've heard that they are moving in, and that is one thing we're going to try on some of the structure we look at today. And the third one I'm not going to mention. I'm just going to leave it out there, and if it happens, we'll acknowledge it. But hopefully one of those 3 things happens. We got some smaller crabs, some larger ones, and I'm just hoping something takes. So let's get these threaded up and see what we can do. Okay, working some submerged structure. It's a bit to work here, so let's see. It's not super deep. Can hold with some light weight. See what happens. Got him. Good fish. Probably porgy. Oh, a tog. Surprise, surprise. Not what we're looking for, surprisingly, but sure. Good to know for the future. Try again. Okay, first fish of the day is a tog, and they're fun to catch. I'm not trying to keep them. I'm not even really trying to target them, though. It's inevitable. Porgies, triggerfish, those are the ideal likely catches, but there's one other thing that could be here that would be really cool. Tog. Big scup. Jeez, look at that thing. Yeah, we'll take you. That's probably my biggest scup of the season so far. Whew. Damn, that's a nice scup. A little over 14. I'll let him go. Go. Good fish. Oh my God. What the? Oh my God. Well, that's the end of that. Well, that was a bummer. That was a big fish, whatever it was. This is why I always bring a backup rod, particularly an ugly stick, because that'll typically not happen to this kind of rod. But let's see if we can find out what that was. It was big. Could have been a triggerfish, could have been a tog, or it could have been something else. Let's see if we can do a little better this time. I'm going to sort out the warranty with that rod when I get home, but no use crying over spilt milk. Just shifted directions right after that mishap, so we're gonna have a different approach, but now the wind and tide are working together, so that'll be a little bit cleaner. But I might have to fish the other piece of this, the other side of this piece of structure to not get hung up. Go. Big old stuff. Yeah, you're not what snapped my line, but you're nice to catch. Screw it. Let's keep some of these guys, make some dinner. If I'm gonna have to replace a rod, might as well get something to show for it. Let's be the optimists. This will just be the start. We got that scup. It's a nice, like, probably 14-incher, about the same size as the one we let go. Get a few more of those. We at least got scup burgers or scup tacos. But I'm confident we can get, you know, either a fluke or potentially a trigger fish if we do a little exploration. But let's work the spot a little bit more, because that one fish I lost, it might have been Togzilla, but who knows. Got him. Wow, that was a big take. Big take. Tog. I was hoping you'd be a trigger, but you're cool. But you're going back. Whew. That Tog didn't miss a second. He just immediately inhaled it and started running with it. That's what we like, but just not necessarily Tog right now. But I get a lot of little hits, but we're not setting the hook until we feel the crab and the jig in the fish's mouth, and they're starting to run with it. That's a nice Tog. Nice chunky one. Tog. Threw it, got it right back. I'm not playing around with these fish unless it's like massive. I'm not even getting a measure. But yeah, all these fish are just really pressed up against the structure. Get right back on it. There it is. Never getting it. Blackfish. Definitely a spot I'll revisit in October. Oh, he snapped me off, damn. Lost my last like 1/2 ounce or 3/8 ounce proper tog jig. But we'll just try this little regular jig and see if it does the trick. It should. Good fish. Good fish. Good fish. No! Damn it! There he is. Come on, get out of there. Tog, almost certainly. Just Tog Central over here. I really thought there'd be some other stuff mixed in with them. I mean, there are some porgies. I was hoping there'd be some triggers and maybe some other stuff, but we'll give it a little bit more time. Ah, of course. Of course. And we're just getting everything. Switch jigs. Current's starting to move a little fast. A little bit to a 3/4 ounce, partially because we lost our original 1/2 ounce blackfish jigs, and partially because the tide is definitely moving a little faster now. So let's see how this does. Wow, that's a big porgy. Holy crap. Yeah, we'll take you. Big porgy. Jeez. That's definitely sub 15 inches. Jeez. Yeah, we'll take you. Cool colors too. Look at that. It's my best porgy of the season so far. It's about 15 inches. Keep that 14-incher company. All right, let's do what? I'm just going to finish this bucket of crabs and then we're going to check out a different spot. Okay, 1 or 2 more drops here. I just finished off one of my tubs of crabs. I might open the next one if I get some good bites here, but I'd rather check out something new and then start making our way back. Let's not discount this. Just got bit. Let's try it again. Okay, we had our fun with that spot. I'm going to try one more spot and then I'm going to start making my way back to launch. But on the way to that spot, just take a moment to catch our breath and refresh with today's seltzer of the day. We're going fancy, the Polar. This is lemon. Should be zesty. Definitely smells like lemon. Nice and cold, nice lemon citric acid flavor. But yeah, that was unfortunate earlier with that jigging rod. I don't think it was really cut out for whatever that might have been, big tog or otherwise. But we're gonna hit up this one last spot, see if we can get on some triggerfish or something. I don't know, even porgies, I'll take them. I really thought there'd be more variety in that spot. I knew tog would be happening, but I figured there'd be a little bit less, or you know, more other stuff. But regardless, we're gonna check out this spot and then we're gonna start making our way back to launch. Okay, spot number 2. A bit further out, but same depth, not super deep. Just trying to find some structure or some fish, and then we're gonna drop it down. Still fishing crabs. We're not really giving much fluke fishing a go today. Let's just see if we can find some signs of life. This might be good. Get it down and see what we can do. So by the time I got to that second spot, the wind and the tide were just rushing way too much for me to do anything productive. So I did encounter a school of bluefish that I was hoping there'd be some Spanish mackerel mixed in, but to no avail. It was just one small cocktail bluefish after another. And they were kind of fun, but I just really wasn't in the mood to deal with these things on this particular day. So I worked this school of fish, for probably a good 15 minutes. Again, hoping that I'd encounter some Spanish mackerel, but to absolutely no avail. I ended up going back into the shallows and working some other structure and getting some bites, but it was just not productive with the tide rushing as much as it was, and I wasn't anchoring in that stuff. It would just be treacherous. So overall, the best action was that first couple spots I hit up, and obviously it really was a bummer to have that rod snap, and even more so just to wonder what it was that was on there. But overall, a good time. It's good to try some new things out. So I hope you enjoyed. Do please like the video, subscribe, and all that other stuff. I'll definitely come back here, but probably in the more distant future. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from Fishing.